Setting up environment variables for a container using Docker is easy. You just mention the -e flag with the environment variable. But now to set it up in a Kubernetes environment, what are the options that we have? Let's see how we can deploy a container in Kubernetes with the required environment variables. In our previous video, we have seen this basic application which will create a hello world for Node.js app, and we have deployed that in Kubernetes. I will mention the link of the video in the I button. Now let's edit our application to add some environment variables. For that, Node.js requires a package called .env. Once you have imported that one here, you can utilize it. So for the environment variable, for example, I will take a message from the environment. I will define a variable constant message equals to process.env.message. Let's call it message1 or quotes. I will expose this in the route message1. And here, to send the environment variable or to send any variable in a Node app, we have to pass it through like this, message1. So when we open the page for /message1 with this path, it will show us the text hello developers and with the message that we are going to put in the environment variable. Now we will try to build the image. Also, you need to mention the .env in your package.json for the Node.js application. In the Docker file, we do not need to make any change. Let's build the image with a new version tag. I will reroute to Node app, then Docker build. This time I will tag it 1.1. So the image is built. Now to test it locally, I will add a message in the environment variable and then run it. For this one, I'm using the command docker run --rm flag because I want to delete the container once it is done, and then mapping the port 3000 and then the message, and then I'm able to message should be message1 because that's what we have defined in the Node.js application. So it will look for message1 in the environment. Okay, now when we trigger the run application, so the base path is working as it is. So this means our container is working. But now when I change to the path message1, so it shows hello developer. And for Fun Friday, you can make rangolis. Now, if we want to develop or deploy this in the Kubernetes, what can we do? So this was a deployment file in the previous video. And now for the environment variables, I can pass it like with the key environment -name. Here the name will be the key that I have mentioned. So it will be message1 and the value can be anything like delete production database. Yeah, just don't do it. Also, I will update the image tag to 1.1 because that is our newly built image. Now to deploy the application, I have stopped the existing container, run the deployment again. So I will go to the Kubernetes folder and kubectl apply deployment.yaml. Now I will check the pods. Now the pods are started. Let's check out from the browser. Our service port was 30085. So I'll try to access that and the pods are working. Now if I try the message route message1, so it shows our message delete production database. Just don't do it. And locally it is showing with the other environment variable. So this means our container is getting the right variable which we are setting. Let's take it a bit further. Now in the code base, I will change the app.js and I will introduce one more environment variable. Now I will build the image again with a new tag. Okay, this time we will deploy it, make the change in the deployment as well. Here the name should be message2 and the value should be what's the recent trend 90-hour work week. Now I will update the image tag as 1.2 and to deploy it again, I will apply the deployment file and get the pods. For me, the pods are getting restarted as soon as I am changing the image tag and the environment variable. But in your case, if the pods are not getting restarted or not getting terminated, in that case, you can just delete the existing pods and it will bring up new pods with the new configuration. Let's check out the service from the URL. So the message1, yeah, it's working. Now if I go to message2, it is showing me 90 hours work week. Yeah, that's too much. So now that we have established how we can use environment variables, let's check out a better way. For example, here I'm only using 2 environment variables. In your case, it might be 20 or 30. And mentioning each of them one by one is a tedious task. There is a better way. And what is that? You can create a file called configmap.yaml. So this resource called configmap allows you to mention the environment variables which you need in this fashion: key value pair. So the key will be your environment variable which will be set inside the container, and the value is actually the value which we are going to put. Okay, so we have this created. I will provide the code for this one in the description as well. Now I will apply this. So I'm inside the KTest folder. So this shows that the config map is created. We can explore the config map using this command: kubectl describe cm node config. This shows the key value pair that we are using. Now we need to link the config map with the deployment file. To do that, we need to go inside the deployment file, and here, instead of name and all these things, you need to mention in env from, and then for the config map you need to mention config map ref, and here you will provide name of the config map. For us, the name is node app config. So when you put the key env from, you can use the config map reference. You can even use secret reference that we'll cover in a minute. And you need to mention the name of the config map from which the values needs to be taken. Now we need to apply the deployment. So kubectl apply deployment. Okay, I think there is an error. Let's check it out. Yeah, from the code base I have just checked, the format should be env from. Let's try to apply again. Okay, configured, then get pods. We have new pods running. So the message 2 is same with an exclamation mark, and for message 1 it's changed to make rangoli on fun Fridays. Okay, so this way you can use config maps. But what about secrets? Now suppose you need to pass some environment variables like password or some secrets inside the container, but you can't do that in a plain data format. For that we have a file or a resource called secret. So in this secret.yaml we have defined the resource, and it contains 2 data variables, which is username and password. Now these values are actually base 64 encoded. So if I copy this and decode it, so it shows my username as the username, and similarly if I decode the password, it shows my password. In the same way, if you want to add any of your secrets inside the container, you can base 64 encode them and then put it there so that it's not visible plainly. Now we have set it here. To apply secrets, just do kubectl apply -f secrets.yaml. Okay, it should be secret.yaml. Okay, it is created. Then kubectl get secrets. This shows we have a secret created. Now to describe it, see, when we were describing config map, we were able to get the values there, but here it will not show you the value. It will just show the key names which are there as part of the secret. Now to use it inside the container, we can apply the similar way, just like config map reference. Go to deployment.yaml, and here, just like config map reference, you can mention secret reference with the name node app secret. But this time, since in our application we are not using the secrets, or we are not using the environment variables like username and password, it will not reflect. So let's make the change in our application so that we can see if it is setting up the required environment variables or not. I have created 2 new environment variables, and then I will utilize them in another path. I have set the path to secret, and then I am defining username and password. So whatever we are going to set as the username in the secrets will be reflect inside the container using the same way. Let's build the new image with the new application.js. We will tag it 1.3. Once this is done, I will edit the deployment.yaml file to use the newer image 1.3. I will go back and then create the deployment. Just check the pods. We have 2 new running pods. Now to check whether our secrets are reflecting, I will go to the browser and check whether we have everything else working as it is. Now we will explore the secrets route. Yeah, so whatever we have encoded in the secrets, it is coming in the pod as the environment variables. Now we can also check out the environment from inside the pod. So this is the command you can use to interact inside the pod. Now, if you want to check the environments, we can do it like this, env. Okay, so here we have message 1, here we have message 2, and this is the username that we have set, and the password is present here. So these are the environment variables we are setting directly from the config map and the secrets. One thing to note here that I am using env from. With this, you can even use env. You can use the combination of both as per your need. I hope you have find this video useful. If you have any issues while deploying or creating any of the resources, please let me know in the comment section. In the next video, I will try to create ingress and other resources as well so that you can connect to your application. Stay tuned for more such videos. Please press the like button if you find this video useful. Thank you.